right, welcome back to the Sweet Science of Fighting Underground. Today we're going to do a white belt finals match. I believe it's for NAGA World Championship. I've been wanting to do more white and blue belt breakdowns, just because you don't see many of them, and there's a lot to be learned. So if you haven't yet, click the link in the description where you can get access to all the strength and conditioning programs, and you can also submit your own footage to be broken down. So go ahead and start this. I think it's a pretty short match. So let's get started. So I'm just going to point out a lot of things. Okay, see what's going on here. Excuse me, sorry. You can see what's happening here. I mean, right off the bat, hands are up. This guy over here, I don't know these guys' names, so I apologize, but the guy over here just has his hands is kind of dangling out there. There's really no he's circling, so that's good. So let me point out the good things. He's circling, and I think that's about best is what's happening right here. He has his hands kind of just dangling out here, which is generally not a good idea. He's very upright, which is another problem, I would say, even though we just started. But it would be much better if he's just to try to start to go forward and get a little bit of connection. We have a thing, and kind of a rule is at the gym is like if we're wrestling or standing up, we generally don't back away. We'll either circle or go forward. So that's why I'm saying the circling is good, but he's got to do something with his hands and get connection. This guy over here is pretty calm. He's kind of like staying stationary, just kind of following him around, going in a circle. But this is pretty common, I think, with especially with beginners, not really sure how to actually engage. So there's a bit of a frantic or even nervousness about the actual connection. It's just because I probably don't have that many reps of it. So see okay, this guy looks pretty focused. He's just kind of still slowly walking forward. This guy's, again, his hands are kind of all over the place. More upright. This guy is also upright, so this is not such a good thing, but at least he's kind of staying calm. He's keeping his hands down, which is actually probably a better idea. I do like that he's kind of reaching out here and kind of gauging for distance, but he's doing it with both hands. You typically only do it with one hand, especially with his left arm here. You'd probably want to kind of block the lead leg there, just so they can't just go for a single or a double. You can have something to stop it. So this is in this particular position, his right arm here would be more of like to gauge distance, test reactions, and this was going to be kind of to block the shot. So, okay, there's a bit of hand grabbing there. There should be some hand fighting, and right here, this is interesting. He shoots right in, so it looks like he's going for like a judo sweep. So the problem with that, there's lots of problems with that, but the problem with that is, one, no connection. He had a bit of a connection when he kind of jumped in there, but a lot of times with judo, you need to get your hips really close to the person, get tight to the person. You also need to create a destabilization of the person, to create a bit of a stumble, and sometimes getting your hips close can do that, and then also create some sort of tilt with the upper body. This is just kind of a general rule. I'm not saying it's all of judo in a nutshell, but as a general rule, you want to do that. He kind of just shot in here and just really didn't have any of those. But I do like that he actually tried to go into and just kind of kick at the leg. The problem is he's doing it at such a distance that it's it's pretty easy to, and it's very direct. There's no setup either. So circling, this is good. Again, the hands just kind of up there dangling up. This is no good. I mean, neither one of these guys are changing level. Neither one of these guys are doing a little bit of feints, just to kind of check reaction. There's a lot of things you can do even before connection, and again, gauging distance with your hand with one arm, kind of doing a feint to see if there's a reaction to what, say if you want to go for a single or double, just to see what the reaction is. And no changing level. So they should be kind of going up and down a little bit here, just to see if the person will follow them. As a general rule, when you're kind of standing up with wrestling, it's like you're basically trying to do one of three things. You're trying to achieve an angle, get their hands to the mat or snap them below you, or get underneath them, which is, so if I were to change level and you did not change level, then that would mean I'm underneath you, so I can potentially start shooting for your legs. So again, you see how he shoots in here? This is a good example. There's really no connection here to the upper body. He just kind of has his hand here. And as a matter of fact, this guy's kind of pushing him away, and he's kind of reaching for the leg and trying to kick at it. It's good, though, to get a reaction just to see what he's going to do. Put his hand kind of in the face there. Okay, so now they're trying to get a tie up here, which is good. At least they're getting connection. So that was really good. You can see the problem with the guy here on the right here, with his hands kind of up. His hands are just kind of up and around his face, and this guy can just pretty easily just go into a collar tie and then just drop and grab a single. So this was really good. I guess I'm gonna go with the red here. The guy with the red tag. So now he has a single. You try to get a little sweep there with the foot. Again, the problem is look at the space between the two of them. I mean, his shoulder here, it's not even close to his hip. His head is not connected to the person here. So he has to get connected here, and a lot of times just kind of walking forward, changing levels, reaching for the single or the double, or switching to a body lock. These are always good options. He needs to close distance. Almost like he's going to pull guard, but he may get a takedown here, actually. So if you step through, this is a good option. When the foot's on the outside, you step through and see if you can get a sweep. And he does. Beautiful. Right into half guard. And right off the bat, this is what a lot of beginners do. And again, this is the white belt finals. The immediate reaction is just to hug the person. Now, I'm not saying there's not something you can do from here, maybe produce some sort of sweep more advanced with an advanced guard, I'd say. But for the most part, if you're in this half guard and it's completely flat, generally you don't want to hug the person tighter to you. I mean, the person on top wants to close distance and get more connection. And if you just grab the person and pull them tight on top of you, it just makes it worse. You can tell the legs get really stiff here, and they're just holding this leg for dear life, squeezing his legs right here, just so so the pass can't happen, so he can't get his right leg through there. I don't see any lacing or anything yet. So again, he's just kind of flailing his legs here a little bit, just kind of crossing them, just holding on. And this is a problem you'll see with a lot of white belts, beginners. They will hold on to a position like for dear life, just to. This position should never even technically have happened. The person on bottom should be actually trying to create space and get some sort of retention and to improve their guard, or start working from half guard to improve their position or to start attacks. Again, this could just be because beginners, they just don't have that toolbox yet. So, but just as a general rule, hugging the person towards you, it's generally not a good idea. See, I just kind of stuck. You should really be looking for inside position here. For a lot of beginners, I just tell them, I say, make sure, if you're not really sure what's going on, you should be trying to achieve inside position. If you can get inside position, you can start to produce space. So just as a general rule, and inside position, what I mean by that is just, if you were to take his left arm here, the person on bottom, start to shoot it into the armpit of the person on top, the right armpit, he can really start to steal inside position, dropping this right arm to the inside, and he can start to produce space, and then getting his knees in between the two of them, and then he can start to produce some sort of active guard. And you can see he's posting on that leg, and you go to a quarter mount, it looks like. Now he's trying to get to the inside. So he's pushing the leg back there. He's getting his knee in. The guy on top's doing a good job here, keeping his hips low. I'd like to see that hip kind of driving in, maybe a turking position. But at least he's kind of staying low. It's always the basic kind of ideas to, we're always taught to shrimp. So, especially jiu-jitsu, guys, straight jiu-jitsu guys, for years and years, we're just doing shrimps, as for warm-ups for a decade. I don't really teach shrimps anymore at the gym. We don't really do warm-ups. But this is very natural response. And this can easily be shut down to a certain degree, just because it's a very common thing to actually do. The one thing that'll be really useful for him is if this is indeed an underhook, which I can't tell if it's an underhook or if the guy on top has an actual underhook. But the goal now is for the bottom guy's trying to get his knee in here, and we all kind of know that. So we'll see if he gets his knee through. I like that the guy on top pinched his knees there. That was good to stop it. Now he can switch his hips here, try to free his right leg. So he's going to switch his hips, trying to push down on that knee, but still maintain top side control pressure. He could just switch here and just post this knee down at the ground here and just go to like a quarter top mount position, and effectively the same pass. Instead of trying to drag it out, he didn't really switch his hips there enough. That was a good bridge from the person on bottom. That was a decent bridge. It was enough to get to get the guy on top to move. And you can see here he doesn't have an underhook here. It'd be much better if that arm right there was actually here with an underhook position, reaching for the far shoulder. So that way, this bridge, he can really get maximum space out of it. You can also get to like and end up getting to a dogfight, getting a turtle position, or recovering his guard. This is not too bad a position, but I can see he's hugging the guy here, and he's just making it more difficult for himself by pulling the guy kind of down on top of him and bridging at the same time. You're kind of working against yourself. There is a crown method you can do here where you crown the top of the head to kind of turn the guy's neck to try to bridge up if you can't get to the inside position. But we'll see if he gets to the inside position here. No. Smashes him back down. And you see he's kind of hugging his head here. This is... if I was coaching this guy, I'd be like, don't stop doing that. You need to get this elbow to the inside and get under that armpit there. Much easier to get out. And you see this guy's kind of sprawling back. This is not an effective way to hold technically a half guard position. You can if you drive your hips in. If you start turking the leg, you can start turking the leg back here. Now it's effective when you drop your hips. But if you just simply sprawl back here, it's just a matter of time, even with somebody that's not that skilled, to actually get that bottom right knee to start to slide in. So you can see both his arms are connected up here. They're trying to stay to the upper body connection. And really the battle here is going to be at the lower body, right? For the guy on top. The battle's, for both guys, the leg positioning here is really important on bottom. That's basically what's holding them in this position. If he loses the leg, then the guy passes. If he holds the position, then they stay the same place, or he gets a recovers guard. Okay, so there it is right there. So he got his full guard. And that's just because of the guy wasn't, a guy on top wasn't actually holding the half guard top position well. So now, effectively, this is technically an effective position here, now holding his posture down. So this is something we do, you can try and prevent the posture. So basic 101, somebody's in your full guard, you want to bring them down, you don't want them to be posturing. So he certainly has his posture broken down here. He's kind of took a long road to get there, but this is good. Okay, he's trying to get to an armpit, and he's opening his guard, trying to get back to his knees. Oh, he's going for a guillotine. Very nice. He's got a guillotine, but he needs to get his legs around the guy here. So here we go. This is good. So generally, and this is not technically a very good position here, his hips are driving in, which kind of gives his legs to the guy on bottom. If the guy had good wrestling, he would easily be taken down here. He does have a grip on the neck, but what he should try to be doing here is just kind of sliding this knee in and throwing the leg over the back to like a classic guillotine position from the kind of open guard. Or get a little more of a sprawl to get his hips back, so at least he can get the guy down, head down to the mat. And I know there are techniques where you can kind of do a guillotine here from like pulling up, but he's on his knees here and he's kind of posturing up. It'd be very hard to pull this off in this particular position. Or maybe you will, I don't know. Okay, so it switches the back. This is good. So it goes to the side. And he tries to jump to the back. It's not bad. So one thing you'll notice with especially beginners, these big movements, right? When you do these big movements, there's so much space and time, and timing is just not good. Accuracy is not developed yet, but there's these big movements. There's just so much space for the person technically defending or countering to work with and operate. It becomes into being kind of a sloppy thing to where you're just trying to jump to something real fast. This is generally not a good idea. You want to control the position, right? I always say there's, position, control, and submission. So control is like the key point here. He had the position. There was no reason for him to throw him around the back. And that way, if he actually controlled the position, he could start to put hooks in or start to break the person down. But he decided to like swing around to the back and try to attack the back with some speed there, but little accuracy. So he got back on top. This is good. So now they're in the same position. Okay, so exact same position. Swings back around. So look at all this space here. I mean, the guy on top is going to keep spinning. He may make it. Again, this comes down to a question of speed. Natural attributes, right? Speed, athleticism, strength, agility, flexibility. All these things start to be a factor, and are a bigger factor when it comes to white belt, especially in white belt division, and also actually, through even up to black belt, it's a factor. So, but generally, you don't want to depend too much on your quote unquote natural attributes, right? You want to actually have really sharp technique, and so and good timing. So we'll see here. So they both stand up. So he was able to get up. This guy's doing pretty good. He kind of steps in and goes for a little Uchimata type of position, which he actually gets. That was nice. I think that was it might have been a hip. Let's check that real quick. Okay, so he has the inside position. He steps through. Oh, so it's cross hip, almost like I forget the judo term, but it's going to the cross to the far leg, doing the sweep that direction. Nice. So now he actually is in side control. He goes to a knee on belly. And then see, this is a bit of rushing the position. Just control the position. Not just be telling him, just control the position, keep the pressure in, keep that shoulder grinding down into the face. And he's doing a good job. Like that hip, that right hip dropping hip to hip. Keep that hip tight to his hip. And we got overcommitted. And he swept again. So the reason why that happened, the reason why those type of sweeps happen is because both guys are very stiff. Stiff and overcommitted. Because they're squeezing each other and they're holding on to each other, it's very easy for them to just kind of roll like that over and over and over, and spending a lot of energy as well. But the stiffness, and then also overcommitting in one direction. So in other words, not having the center of gravity necessarily down yet. So usually stiffness is why something like that happens. So he's got to underhook the guy on bottom's trying to get to turtle. It could be a guillotine going for the neck here. Guy's trying to address the neck. He's sitting back, but now he's back on top. He tries to jump over. He's in a full guard. I think it's over here. So I think the clear winner, obviously, this guy here, just simply because of takedowns, and on top position the whole time. So, or most of the time. So yeah, I know it's a short one, and it's kind of I don't know. Some people may find this very interesting, but for beginners, I would definitely, look at these type of things and see, what you can kind of learn of, almost like what not to do or what to improve, or what the common mistakes at this stage that people tend to make, because it's very common. You start to see patterns among white belts or beginners. You'll see a lot of patterns just because it's a natural human instinct. I think a lot of these reactions. So, anyways, that'll be it, and we'll do another one. All right, thanks.